Hello, people. Steven Rogers Lim here again for a live show. So I really want to do a live show probably once every week. So the last live I did, I think was actually no, it wasn't last Sunday or Saturday. I think it was a weekday because I just bought the Dragon Ball comics. So I was very excited about that. So I think that was really a ad hoc add-on, but I'm very glad I did that video nonetheless. For the Dragon Ball comics, I'm really reading it. I really love the Dragon Ball stories. I can finally understand what they're talking about. I think half the time when I was reading the comics, whether it was in traditional Chinese or Japanese language, I could hardly understand, or I could only half understand. So anyway, that was done. I think it was done on Tuesday or Wednesday. So today's a Sunday. My last live for a wish list was last Sunday, if I'm not wrong. So I really want to keep this up. So of course, today's wish list is another wish list for DC Extended Universe figures again. So I think really DC has a lot of potential. So it was not done well by DC, I would say. So definitely Hot Toys didn't get the license or the copyright to do many figures. So I think I must really say this. I don't know what is going on with WB or Warner Brothers, right? They own DC, and I thought DC really had a lot of potential with Henry Cavill as Superman, Batfleck, Gal Gadot, Ray Fisher, so on and so forth. I thought the whole Justice League was great. I thought the Snyder Cut, Snyder Universe, whatever you call it, basically done by Zack Snyder himself. I think it was quite a good story, but I guess along the way, maybe Zack Snyder didn't get along well with the Warner Brothers executives or execs or whatever happened. So I think something bad really happened between the Warner Brothers executives, right? Together, I mean, with Zack Snyder as the director or writer, or whether it is the different actors, whether it is with Henry Cavill or Batfleck. I really don't know what happened there. So I thought there was really a lot of potential that was really not done by the Warner Brothers top brass, or the Warner Brothers WB brass, or executives, whatever you call them. So I really thought that DC really had a lot of potential for many beautiful figures. Just that, of course, it never came to fruition. So this is my second wish list for DC figures. Of course, you might be thinking, hey, a lot of these figures are already done by unlicensed companies, toy companies, products. But like I said many times before, Hot Toys really does offer a different standard, a different quality. The quality is really great. So I will be doing a lot of Hot Toys wish list, whether it's with DC or Marvel or Star Wars figures, and I'm glad that people are actually joining me. So let me get down to this weekend's wish list. By the way, for the record, today is the 1st of December 2024. It's about 11:20 Singapore Hong Kong time. So it's a Sunday weekend. I'm glad I can do this wish list again, like one of the, I would say, quite popular, famous Singaporean Malay TikToker out there. My wish list, my rules, my preferences. Of course, please go ahead and give me your comments, your ideas, your suggestions, your questions, if you have any along the way as I do this wish list. So this is the second wish list for DCEU, so you can really see the potential there. for DC figures by Hot Toys. Alright, first up. Yes, Bloodsport, of course, played by Idris Elba. I hope I'm pronouncing his name there correctly. So, of course, this appeared in the, should be the second one, right? Yep, the second movie, or the second Suicide Squad movie, SS Suicide Squad. So this is another iconic, beautiful, excellent screenshot of Bloodsport there. So I really don't know why he's not done even up till now. I think Hot Toys should still have the license for this movie or this figure or this character. So I'm really hoping that, you know, there's a chance that Hot Toys does him. I think there are excellent accessories to go along with him as well. I mean, he definitely reminds everyone of Deadshot, right? Deadshot, played by, of course, Will Smith. So I thought he would have been a great figure if done 1/6 scale by Hot Toys. Idris Elba there. So another screenshot of him. So of course we could have a normal head sculpt there, or battle damage blooded or bloodied head sculpt there. And of course the helmet would be an excellent addition to the Hot Toys 1/6 scale version of Bloodsport. And of course we have a picture here of a unlicensed figure of Bloodsport called the Bloody Mod. I hope I'm saying it correctly there. And of course done by Thunder Toys. I mean, with my experience with unlicensed figures and companies, I think Hot Toys really give a certain quality to the figures, to the details of the figures. So that's why I'm doing wish list of Hot Toys figures I wished Hot Toys produced. I mean, I could have done this video online, recorded it, but hey, since I can do it live, why not? So this is another version. They call him the Tactician, of course, by a more well-known unlicensed 1/6 scale company, Su Toys. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly as well. The Tactician. So I mean, of course, if Hot Toys doesn't produce these figures, we collectors or fans would turn to unlicensed versions of these 1/6 scale figures. But of course, there is also something here I would like to say. There's this history where I think if a figure is actually popular enough, but Hot Toys doesn't really produce them or make them, and it is done by a third-party company or an unlicensed company, there is a high chance that Hot Toys would choose to do it. Like what some I have read comments of what Hot Toys is doing is like to spite the company, to really, you know, I don't know what you call it, to show that the company, hey, you know, you're an unlicensed company, I am licensed, so I can do a better job. So hey, you never know, if a unlicensed company produces a figure, there's a high chance that Hot Toys might produce that figure again as well in the future. So this is the story. I remember putting it on my Facebook group 1/6 community. There's quite a list of figures that was first produced by unlicensed third-party companies. Then Hot Toys decided to make them, so you can take a look at it. I cannot remember offhand now, but it's quite a long list actually. So, oh my gosh, I think one figure that I can think offhand is the Venom figure, right? Hot Toys didn't produce Venom yet, but until after it was produced by a third-party unlicensed company, then Hot Toys decided to do a Venom figure. And what else? I think the Another famous example is the 1/4 scale Joker by Heath Ledger. Of course, that was not done by a unlicensed company. It was done by a licensed company. I can't think of that company offhand. So after that company did the 1/4 scale Heath Ledger, then Hot Toys decided to do it. So hey, there's a high chance if the rivals of Hot Toys do make a figure, we have a chance of Hot Toys making it actually. Anyway, let's move along. Second on the list, of course, this version of Harley Quinn acted by Margot Robbie. I hope I'm pronouncing the names correctly. Sometimes I'm really bad at pronouncing the names. So I think this version was excellent, but it wasn't announced, until recently. I mean, these slides, I created these slides, these ideas were done quite a few weeks ago. So after I came up with these slides, this version of Harley Quinn, I think would be beautiful, would be excellent if done by Hot Toys. Hey, then Hot Toys decided to announce this version of Harley Quinn, but of course they call it the artisan version with the rooted hair. So this is how it looks. So probably my wish list now could be a version of this Harley Quinn instead of the artisan edition with the rooted hair. Why not a sculpted hair version? I think it would be excellent and beautiful, right? Yep. So my wish list number two on my wish list still stands. Probably we could have a sculpted hair version of Harley Quinn. I think many collectors, once they buy the figure, they'll just leave the figure there on display, or after they unbox it or take it out, they'll just leave the figure there. I think very few collectors will actually have the time or effort to maintain the rooted hair. So I think a sculpted hair would be an excellent wish list choice as well. Number two, Harley Quinn's version of Harley Quinn, the Suicide Squad. Excellent figure to make if you ask me, but thanks to Hot Toys for making the rooted hair version. Now number three, of course, Dr. Fate by Pierce Brosnan. Now I didn't really watch the oh my goodness, what is the movie? I actually cannot remember the movie. Of course, acted by Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. The black version of Shazam. Black Adam, right? His name is Black Adam, right? Yeah. Oh my goodness, I actually forgot. Yeah. So he actually appeared. This version actually appeared in the movie, right? Together with some other characters as well. So I thought this would be a beautiful figure to make if it was made by Hot Toys. Actually, this is another screenshot, a very well-known screenshot of Dr. Fate. So of course we can have the helmet version and the head sculpt versions. I thought Toys would really bring about the essence of this figure and make an excellent figure out of Pierce Brosnan, Dr. Fate, but I guess it was never meant to be. Maybe, as I mentioned before many times, we might have one in the future. Not quite sure there though, but I hope we do. Of course, there is also this version done by an unlicensed company called the Magic Lord by Premium Toys. But I think if you look at the head sculpt there, I think Hot Toys would definitely make a much better version of Pierce Brosnan. Number four, of course, another Knightmare figure character. This time round, Knightmare Mera, portrayed and played by Amber Heard, would have been great. So if Toys made her, this is another figure I would definitely buy, made by Hot Toys. So another screen grab of Knightmare Mera. So I thought this figure would be great as well if made by Hot Toys, physically made and manufactured by Hot Toys. So this is another screenshot of Knightmare Mera, Amber Heard. And of course we have the unlicensed version of her, such a popular, well-known figure and character, it would definitely have been made by an unlicensed third-party figure company. So they call her the Atlantis Princess. What a wordy name. I mean, it is precisely the description. She is an Atlantis princess, right? I think so. Yep. So this is by, of course, another well-known unlicensed figure company, Flashpoint. Now, I try to put these two together. So if you have the Knightmare Mera together with the Justice League version of Aquaman, I think it will look great. Or whether it is with the Aquaman version, the really the king version of Aquaman would be beautiful as well. So I thought this is another figure Hot Toys could really consider and invest in making. And as it makes the figure, I think it will make a lot of fans happy as well, make a lot of collectors happy. Fifth on my list, wish list for DCEU figures by Hot Toys, of course, a Lois Lane figure. I never figured out why head sculpt was never done or figure was never done, whether it is by Hot Toys or unlicensed companies. But then again, maybe it was done by an unlicensed company just that I don't know of. This is another screen grab of Lois Lane. I think this is from the Man of Steel version, Man of Steel movie version. Alright, this version I think this is the from the Justice League movie. So I thought Lois Lane would be an excellent figure if she was actually made by Hot Toys as well. Side by side with a Clark Kent would be beautiful. Of course, I think you would have guessed by now, number 6 on my wish list for DCEU figures, Clark Kent himself. Now I own all the Superman figures done by Hot Toys so far. I think the first version was the Man of Steel version. That was a beautiful figure, and I think it's a very rare figure now. There's a must-have head sculpt of Henry Cavill, and there's the Dawn of Justice version, and that is where the clothing, the costume, the uniform, whatever you call it, the suit, this coloring, but I think overall the figure still looks great. And of course, there's the blue version of the Justice League, the bright blue version of Superman, and of course there's the black Superman. So all four done by Hot Toys. I own them. I think they are so beautiful. I mean they're beautifully made by Hot Toys. So I just never understood why Hot Toys never made a Clark Kent. Maybe it is not in their priority, I would say. They like to do the final versions of figures, characters, and heroes. But then again, I thought a Clark Kent by Hot Toys would be excellent, beautiful. This is another version. I mean, this is another screen grab of Clark Kent, of course, with his spectacles. And this is Clark Kent, of course, at the end of the movie, one of the end scenes, right? If I'm not wrong. Oh my goodness, I cannot remember. Is it Dawn of Justice or is it Justice League 1? I really cannot remember. But I think this is a very iconic version of Clark Kent with his red color, checkered shirt, talking to Bruce Wayne about getting his home back. Another version of Clark Kent I thought Hot Toys could have done. So I thought this would be excellent suggestions and ideas there for Hot Toys. Of course, then again, this is a wish list. I can only wish for such figures done by Hot Toys. We are still at Clark Kent. Many photos of Clark Kent there. Number 7, of course, Penguin played by Colin Farrell. It was a more recent release, whether it's from the Batman movie or the Penguin. If I'm not wrong, there's a TV series, right? TV show. So I thought this would be great as well. Penguin portrayed by Colin Farrell. This is another version of the penguin we could have. So of course there is a unlicensed version done. Mr. Penguin. Wow, that is really creative and imaginative. Okay, I'm joking. Yeah, as I think that the name is as it is, Mr. Penguin, done by Yen Toys. So I thought this would have been a beautiful figure. It's quite nice actually looking at it, right? Done by a unlicensed company. What more if it's done by Hot Toys? The penguin there, portrayed by Colin Farrell. Number 8, of course, Deathstroke, played by this actor pronounced, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, John Manganiello. John Manganiello. This is like really a beautiful portrayal version of Deathstroke. So if I remember correctly, he appeared in the post-credit scenes of the 2017 version of Justice League. So I thought the suit, the head sculpt would have been done beautifully by Hot Toys if they decided to embark on it. Of course, together with the accessories as well. I mean, I have said before quite a few times, I'm someone who really love to collect trigger-happy figures and characters like, you know, Deadshot, or even the Punisher, or even John Wick. So if I could own a figure of Deathstroke done by Hot Toys, I think it would be excellent. Here's another picture of Deathstroke. I mean, you can sense the aura, the feel of this figure and character. If it was done as a figure by Hot Toys, wow, I think it would be beautiful. And of course, how can it not be done by a unlicensed third-party company? Of course, by one of the well-known companies, Susu Toys here. And look at the head sculpt, it's beautiful. Whether it's the helmet version or the face head sculpt version, and it also comes with the helmet. Now, I never got this, I never owned this, I never bought this. But I think if Susu did such an excellent job with the so-called Dead Killer, I think Hot Toys would have really nailed this figure, and this would really go great being displayed beside other trigger-happy characters, especially from the DCEU universe like Deadshot or even Bloodsport himself. And of course, the display would be beautiful if he was beside Batman himself, the Justice League version of Batman, of course, played by Ben Affleck, Batfleck. So I thought, wow, if this figure was displayed together beside Batfleck, I think it was beautiful. I think it would be beautiful. Any versions of the many different versions of Batman played by Ben Affleck would be great. I mean, just look at it. It's so beautifully done by Susu Toys. I thought Hot Toys would have done a much better job. So this is number 9. Of course, how can we not have Steppenwolf, the big bad villain in Justice League 1. So of course there's this version, this so-called earlier version, and this, I would say, this is the easier version of Steppenwolf. I would say this is the more difficult, more complicated later version of Steppenwolf. So correct me if I'm wrong, but this version was the version that appeared in the Snyder cut, right? Zack Snyder's version of Justice League. So if I'm not wrong, I think a third party company and unlicensed company did Steppenwolf as well. But I just never got it because I thought Hot Toys version would have been much better. Alright, so this is another picture of Steppenwolf, both the later version on the left and the earlier version on the right. But if you look at it, right, I think the one on the left is so much better, so much more beautiful. Of course, the details will be much more difficult to make for a figure. as compared to the earlier version, the one on the right. So the one on the left is the Zack Snyder's version. If I'm not wrong, I mean, I think I should be correct, right? Yeah. So Steppenwolf 9 on my wish list tonight for DCEU figures to be made by Hot Toys. Last but definitely not least, I really want this Starfish, or they call him or her, I don't know what's its sex or gender, Starro. No, I really love this figure. I mean, I really love this character when it came out in Suicide Squad 2, or they call it the Suicide Squad. So I think they were really fighting Starfish towards the end of the movie. I really love this figure now. I mean, I love this character. Why? I think a little bit more of the background. I watched this version of Starfish or Starro in the animated series or cartoon animated series of Justice League. I thought the story arc was excellent. So basically, this Starfish or Starro managed to manipulate Superman himself and control Superman, and of course there's a big fight between the Justice League members, and they were trying to figure out what in the world was going on. Why are they fighting each other? So Starfish, Starro was behind all that misunderstanding, that conflict, that fighting. So I thought, whoa, this is really an excellent character, beautiful character. So that was my first encounter. That was my first experience with Starro or Starfish, which I thought was beautiful. This is an excellent, beautiful character or figure to have. So in the comics, I managed to find a screen grab, a photo of it as well. What have you done? The vision I hid from you, there is no other way to win. So if I remember correctly, in the cartoon, the animated series as well, Batman was the only one surviving and trying to beat Starro or Starfish. So I guess it is the same for the comics as well. So I just have an excellent or crazy idea, or whatever you call it. We could have a Starfish figure 1/6 in scale, and then we can have 5 or 6 or more. So basically, I'm trying to make this look like what we will receive in the 1/6 scale packaging, and then these mini versions of Starro or Starfish could be attached to the faces of the characters like this, whether it's Superman, or Flash, or Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, or even Hawk Girl, or is this Hawkman? Not quite sure there. Don't know what character this is at the back. So they could do a 1/6 scale version of Starfish, Starro, and probably give us a few versions where they could attach it to other figures' head or face sculpt. Or maybe they could have made this into a 1/6 scale figure the size of probably bulkier, bigger characters like Darkseid or Thanos or the Hawk. I think it would have been an excellent idea as well. Of course, Hot Toys figures, when they are bigger, they are more expensive. I wouldn't mind paying for this Starfish Starro figure, especially it came out in both, sorry, not in just both comics, animated series, and the movie. So I thought this would have been a great idea for a wishlist figure from the DCEU universe or DC Extended Universe to be done by Hot Toys. I would definitely have bought this figure. I mean, all these 10 figures that I just mentioned above, these 10 characters, I would definitely buy them if they were done by Hot Toys. So what do you think of my ideas and suggestions? Go ahead and leave your comments, your questions, your ideas, your suggestions on my channel, on my YouTube video if you want to. Alright, I think it's been a great run tonight. So this is my top 10 wishlist DCEU figures I wish Hot Toys made. So I think I am done with this week's live video of a wishlist. Now I really intend to make a wish list video, of course, for Marvel figures as well, for Star Wars figures as well, and then I have upcoming wish list for SH Figure Arts figures for Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z as well. So this has been Steven Rogers Lim. People, hope you could catch me at my next videos or subsequent videos. Signing off here, people. Take care. Goodbye. Good night. And don't stop collecting, people. Thank you so much for joining me at my channel and video. Take care, people. Bye bye.